Hello there, all my students, all my learners, all my scholars, all my parents helping learners, my neurodiverse community without excluding my neurotypicals. Now, I hope you grew spiritually into I'm not that plastic Oros bottle meant for the dustbin, into I'm not one made for mathematics. You are made for mathematics, and that's what we are going to do today. Let's prepare for the final exam, Math Lit, by grade 9 to grade 11. Watch out. Now, first question on my mind always, why is it so difficult to study for mathematics? Remember, we practice not until we get it right. We practice until we can't get it wrong. Now, why is it so difficult then to study for mathematics? Because we approach it in a non-user-friendly, scary way. Now, how do we reverse it? If you want to ace that final Math Lit paper, you cannot go wrong with past papers. Okay, you have heard that a lot of times, but it's not that easy. But what do? We get that past paper, we dive right into the first question. Doesn't make really sense. Go to the second question. After question number 3, I will do it now, tomorrow. Yes, I know we do it. How do we approach studying maths in a friendly, easy, understandable way? Bit by bit. Now here is what you do. You take your old exam paper and we're just going to take a look at the first 5 questions. 15 minutes to 20 minutes each day. That's it. So browse and take a look at your first 5 questions. And then, much needed, a piece of blank paper and the good old pen. Right. Now, for example, you will browse through the first 5 questions and you will see, okay, it's based on data, it's based on probability, and it's based on ratio. Right, this is my first 5 questions. Now you get to your book, your script, your textbook, whatever. You only go to these 3 topics. Take a blank piece of paper, quickly summarize what you need to know, hook it onto your pen, so you don't need a billion staplers along the way, and there you go. Now the paper that we are going to look at, the first 3 questions, or the first 5 questions, is made up of exactly what I said. Data, probability, and ratio. Now, a quick analyzing of what data is. Now, data is nothing but raw statistics. Let's put it in common ways so that you can understand. Data is nothing but giving an answer to a question. So if I see the question on my question paper, what, how, which, I know that I'm working with data. I need an answer to the question. Right. Now, I need to make conclusions and predictions. That's what data is about. Raw statistics, finding an answer to the question, the which, the what, the how, and to predict or conclude something. Now, what is important that you will have on your data sheet, your revision paper? My data cycle. Very important. Now, remember, data always starts with a question. You want to know something. You want to know what, you want to know why. In order to get it, you need to collect your data and you need to organize it. After that, you need to analyze what you have. And then we go over in interpreting it. And then you can answer your question with an estimation or a probability. So, what do you do? In easy autistic terms, break it down, hook it on together. You look, you read and collect, and you answer. Now, if you get a question in the exam based on data, where do you start? You read your scenario. Then you take your highlighter or your ruler and you underline or highlight the keywords, the numbers, the units, the measurements. Because when you see those words highlighted, that is exactly where your eye will be falling on. And if you see what, how, which, you know you are using the topic of data. I need to answer a question, therefore I need to collect. How do I collect? By underlining and highlighting keywords, units, measurements in your scenario. I need to analyze what I have, interpret it, and then I can get back to the question. If I miss something in this link, you are not going to get to the question. Right. So this is easy. I look, I read and collect, and I answer. That is data. But there are some terminology words that you have to know. Now let's see. My terminology. Important. I've got two types of data that they can ask me and then I have to answer in a certain way. Now I've got what I call qualitative data. Right. Let's see the word qualitative. Right. That means quality. Now that is data that you are going to describe in words. So you are going to use categorical data. Categorical data has got nothing to do with numbers. No numbers. We're working with quality. I'm going to observe. I'm going to look. And I'm going to describe what I see. How many people, or I think in the majority of people looks happy. Some, really don't know how they feel. Others feel unhappy. I can observe that. So in qualitative data, you describe the answer in words. There's no numbers. Quantitative, however, quantity has all to do with numbers. And that is my statistics. Right. So that is my numerical data. Now I'm going to put a number to what I have observed and describe. Now, I can put it in two ways. Discrete quantitative data means a definite number. It's specific. How many boys are in this class? I can count it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10. There's 10 boys in this class. This class, statistically, numerically, quantitative, consists out of 10 boys and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 girls. So that is my discrete data. It's definite. I can count it. So if the question says quantitative, discrete, I'm looking for a specific number that I can count. If my question asks quantitative, continuous data, that means it's a number that can change. For example, weight, age, height, volume, right? It can vary. It's now this. But after I've eaten 7 pizzas, it's going to be 2 kgs more. Alright. So this is my data. So when you need to answer a question, you look, read, highlight and underline your question or your keywords, numbers, units, measurements, and answer your what, how, which. If you see my terminology, qualitative. Qualitative means I describe in words, quality. Nothing to do with numbers. I look, I observe, and I describe what I see. Quantitative, statistical, numerical. That has all to do with I'm going to add a specific number. Right. Discrete, quantitative. The number is specific. I've got 15 boys and 11 girls. I can count them. Quantitative, continuous. Weight, height, age means it can vary. So that is in a nutshell what data analysis in mathematical literacy is. And if that is question number 1, that will be your first page. Now, on to the next question. Now, you browsed and you have seen that question number 2 and question number 3 have to do with probability. So how are you going to approach it? Take your probability notes and put it in number second. No, first was data, second is probability. Okay, now before you approach the question, let's quickly take a look at, in essence, user-friendly, what is probability? And how do we calculate probability? Probability is nothing but chances. The likelihood that something is going to happen. Like the weather forecast is a probability. Like the chances of me getting a red dress is a probability. So probability means the chances or the likelihood of something that is about to happen, or what might be the outcome. Now let's take a look at my formula. Right, probability. I start with a P because I need to get the answer for probability. Means the event, what I want. Right. The number of ways means how many chances I have divided through the total number of outcomes. Now let's make it easier. Right. Probability equals the exact number of what you want divided by the total number of everything there is. That's an easy way to understand the formula of probability. Probability equals the exact number of what I want divided by the total number of everything there is. Right. Say, for example, you have a bag of clothes with you. All right. And it's t-shirts. Right. You've got 4 pink t-shirts. You've got in the bag 6 green ones. And say you got 2 white t-shirts. Okay. And I ask you, what is the probability when you put your hand into the bag for you to get a white t-shirt? Right. Now, let's do my formula. Probability, the t-shirt, now, equals the exact number of what I want. Now, I want a white t-shirt. What is the exact number? 2 divided by the total number of everything there is. So there's 4 pink t-shirts, 6 green t-shirts, and 2 white t-shirts. And if I add them all together, that will give me 12. Yes? So the probability of me picking a white t-shirt equals 2 out of 12. Or you can say, if I put it in the simplest form, 1 out of 6. And that's how easy it is. Probability equals the exact amount of what I want divided through the total number of everything there is. And that is my chances that I will pick a white t-shirt, 2 out of 12. Simplified, 1 out of 6. Easy. And there you got almost question 1 done. Now the next one on the list is ratio. Let's see. And now it's time for ratios. So, what are we going to do to make studying for mathematics easy? We take our old paper, we browse through the first 5 or 6 questions, we get our notes, we pin it together with a pin, in order as the question goes, and then we start revising our notes before we attempt only the first 5 or 6 questions. Now, in this specific paper that we are working with now, we have seen that the first question was data, then we went on to probability, and the last few questions that we are going to do for now is ratio. Right, now, let's revise. A ratio, listen carefully, is a comparison between 2 or more things with the quantities in the same unit. I'm going to say it again. Ratio is the comparison of 2 or more quantities from the same unit. Now, normally the word unit confuses us a little bit. Unit in easy, user-friendly mathematical terms only means category. Alright, it must be from the same category. If I ask you the ratio from boys to girls, it's the same unit because I'm working with people, I'm working with gender, right? If I ask you the ratio between apples and pears, right? It's the same unit. We are working with fruit. So don't let the word unit scare you. Right. Unit only means it must come from the same category. How many yellow birds, how many blue birds? My unit stays the same. I'm working with birds. Alright. Now, how do I write my ratio? Easy. Dot with my 2 dots. Now, I can even use this for writing it in a fraction. That is exactly the same. Now, how am I going to remember that order in a ratio does matter? The order. I am looking for the word in my question 2. Boys to girls. Then it means the number of boys will be first, then my ratio symbol, my 2 dots, and then the number of my girls. If I get it the other way around, then it's going to be not correct. Now, so I'm looking for the word 2. What is the ratio from yellow birds to blue birds? So my number of my yellow birds will be first, then my ratio symbol, then my blue birds. What is the ratio of, what can we say? Give me the ratio of cement and sand. Then it's going to be cement to sand. My word to. So I'm going to put the number of my cement first, then my ratio symbol, and then the number of sand. So order does matter. How do I check for the order? I go from to from. Boys to girls. I'm looking out for my word to. Okay, now here's a stupid example. Now, just shows how easy math is. I ask you, what is the ratio from boys to girls? If the boys are 20 and the girls are 40. Alright, order does matter. Boys to girls. So I'm going to write the number of the boys first. 20. Then my ratio symbol. And then the girls. 40. And that's my answer. Now we go a little bit further. And the question asks you to give the ratio in its simplest form. Now, there's one rule of thumb. A ratio in its simplest form cannot be something else than a whole number. I cannot work with decimals. If I have a decimal, I first have to multiply by how many times I need to move this comma, right? Until I get to a whole number. That's important. A simplest form can only be a whole number. Now, here's a little trick and trip. Trick and trip. Right. As you go along, you will see it will get easier. But glue yourself to the 2. That's what I always teach. And it works like a bomb. Glue to 2. 2 is the lowest number. So stick with 2. Now I ask you, right, the ratio from boys to girls is 20 to 40. Give this ratio in the simplest form. Easy, it's a whole number. Glue to 2. I'm starting with 2 because that's my lowest number. 20 divided by 2 gives me 10. 40 divided by 2 gives me 20. Okay. Can I try 2 again? Let's try 2 again. Right. 10 divided by 2 is 5. 20 divided by 2 is 10. Great stuff. Can I use 2 more? No. So my boys to girls in the simplest form ratio will be 5 to 10. And that's how easy it is. What do I need to remember? It needs to be in the same unit. I compare. Order does matter. For what am I going to look for? For my word to. Right. Boys to girls. Apples 2 pairs. 20 to 40. There's 20 boys and 40 girls. Order does matter. Rule of thumb number 2. If I need to get it into the simplest form, it must be whole numbers all the way. So if I have a decimal somewhere, I need to cancel the decimal out by multiplying it with how many zeros I have to move this decimal on to get it out. Alright, in this case, 1, 2, so I'm going to multiply by 100, yes, to get my decimal out of the way. Now my lowest number is my way to go. You are glued to the 2. 20 and 40. I start with 2. divided by 2 gives me 10, 2, 20. Can I glue to the 2 again? Yes, I can. 10 divided by 2 is 5. 20 divided by 2 is 10. Can I do the 2 again? No, because then I'm going to have a decimal now. So, the ratio for boys to girls, if it's 20 boys and 40 girls, in its simplest form will be 5 to 10. And watch. 5 to 10 is my simplest form. And there you stop and answer the questions. Check your memo. Mark. Next step, we carry on to the next 6 questions. That's how you are going to get a distinction for Math Lit. Comment your questions. Give me that thumbs up. Subscribe. Remember, in South Africa, that's important. Subscribe means mahala, for free. You just say thank you in the simplest form. And until I see you next time, be good, be safe, be wise. From your autistic mentor and teacher, Mrs. Bella Jansen, have a lovely mathematical 15 minutes.